Hey all you cats and chicks out there, welcome back to Control Players Unite. I'm your host, Dr. Red. Today we're going to look at the most popular and important Pokemon TCG websites. But before we do, I have a quick disclaimer for you. This presentation is in no way meant to exclude or alienate any Pokemon TCG website. Because there are so many, it is difficult to keep track of them all, and favoritism may be wrongly assumed by my inclusion of some and exclusion of others. This guide is meant for anyone who wants a brief tour of the non-collection, non-purchasing tabletop side of the Pokemon TCG on the internet. If you are the owner of a smaller website and or a Pokemon professional with a website, you are welcome to comment in order to promote yourself, including a description of what you do. The order of the channels is alphabetical by topic, then by site, with one exception, the first site, and inclusion on this list is a combination of reputation and utility. Links to all these websites are in the description. Additionally, I do not follow any of these websites' updates regularly for numerous reasons, especially that there are only so many hours in the day. I am not an expert in their histories, so I will do the best I can. Last, these websites provide the same kinds of content within their categories, so brevity of explanation with some of them is not intended as an insult, either against their content or their creators. It is only a reflection of the market. Let's get started. First, we have the original website for the Pokemon Company. It has the latest official news on all things Pokemon, from the video games to the card game to the anime series. It also has the Play Pokemon repository for officially sponsored events and forums for all of the games. Next, we have Bulbapedia. This is the Wikipedia for all things Pokemon on the internet. It has pretty much everything you can think of. Here under Start Browsing, you got the anime, games, manga, TCG, world, species, characters, moves, music, meta, items, events, fandom, and people. Not to mention the fact, here on the left-hand side, it's in a bunch of different languages. So, there you have it. Next, we have PokeBeach. This is a fan site founded by John Sahagian, aka the Water Pokemon Master. And as you can see, Justin Basil also contributes. It hosts discussions of all things Pokemon with an emphasis on the trading card game. It's known for leaks and for providing translations of newly released Japanese cards. It also has articles written by professional players for how to play archetypes. Next, we have PokeGuardian. This is from their About Us page. PokeGuardian is a fan site dedicated to the Pokemon trading card game, run independently by enthusiasts of the game. The website serves as a source of up-to-date news, blogs, interviews, columns, podcasts, and other TCG-related content. And in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, it is similar to PokeBeach.com. Next, we have the Pokemon Card Database. It is what it says, a database of every card to have ever existed in the Pokemon TCG. So, for example, my favorite Pokemon is Decidueye. You look up Decidueye, and you get a copy of every single Decidueye card ever printed. Next, you have Cerebi.net. It is an absolute monstrosity of information. I'll read you the description from the Bulbapedia entry. Cerebi.net is a fan site created by Joe Merrick in the fall of '99 when many Pokemon sites were quickly starting to appear. It's the site first gained popularity as a GeoCities site. Oh my gosh, those are so old. When it was also a member of the Articuno Island Network, it also had a close affiliation with the short-lived Pokemon official magazine in the United Kingdom. It's a well-known source for anime and games information. The website is updated on an almost daily basis. A popular feature of the site is Poke Earth, a complete listing of all in-game trainers and catchable Pokemon on every city and route. So we'll just click Poke Earth, and you can just go ahead and look at all the different regions. There are maps, and you can just pretty much have a ball with whatever you want on this site. Next, we're going to move to the deck building sites. This is Justin Basil. It's the pseudonym of a Redditor who creates deck building guides. He has what to play and all of the tabs that go with it, like meta decks and budget decks, what's coming up next. Hasn't been updated. Twilight Masquerade has been released at this time. We're waiting for the Japanese Night Wanderer, which is called Shrouded Fable now for us in the West. We got rotation information, deck building information, including a deck building guide. Pretty much this is what Justin Basil does, so thank you, Justin, for your contributions. He also translates cards from Japanese. Next, we have My Limitless TCG Decks. This is a place where you can save your deck lists outside of the Pokemon TCG live app. So what you can do is click New Pokemon Deck, go to Search, click on Decidueye, You'll find a card. You can click and drag it in, and it counts. It also gives you the cost. So if you want to make this deck, it's going to tell you how much you're going to spend on it. So that's really cool. Next, we have Poke Gear. This is created by Jake Gearhart, a professional Pokemon player. What you do is you go to the left side here. Once again, you'll just click on the name, type in the Pokemon you want. It'll load. Tap it. Then you can add it to your list if you want. It's like something like this. Nope, it's not working for us. And that's really not okay. There we go. All right. Well, you get the idea. So it comes over here and you can just rearrange it and stuff like that. So thank you, Jake, for your contribution there. We got PokemonCard.io. This is a website where anyone can post any deck they please and receive feedback. There are links for standard, expanded, and even budget decks. What you can do, for instance, is we'll just click on a deck to show you Edgy Boys. Just a deck for fun, tells you that's in standard format, the amount of views, the amount of comments people have left, how soon it was uploaded. What you can do is now export the list to PTC Go. You can also do what's called a test hand. So it'll give you a sample of what you might open with and what you would do if you had the prize cards. So that's interesting there too. It's very unique. Next, we have Pokemon Proxies. This allows you to print unreleased, albeit untranslated cards, officially translated cards, to playtest in your tabletop matches. All you have to do is click the download button and go from there, right here like this. As you can see, it says this is a proxy card, but that doesn't matter, of course, if you're just tabletop testing. Next, you have Proxy Croak, which is a similar thing. Choose the format. We'll just click the left side. Now we're going to do, once again, Decidueye. We'll find him or her. It's not loading, but it'll put it into your list, and you can just go from there. You click generate, and there it is. Your card will come up. That's how that site works. So thank you, Proxy Croak. Next, we got the Japanese sites. Now note, ladies and gentlemen, you will obviously need some kind of translator app if you're not a native or fluent, like, say, the translators at PokeBeach, to understand what's going on here. This first site is called Ho News or How News. This site isn't really updated all that often. It doesn't have anything on contemporary decks. These are actually price listings for how much cards cost. I included it for the sake of completion. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the king of all Japanese Pokemon websites that I know of. It's Pokekabook. This is the website that content creators use when they talk about Japanese deck builds. And here's what you want to do. This link right here, second from the left, it says deck lists. You're going to click on it. This page will load. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and you're going to find the archetype you want. And then what you're going to do, if you don't see your archetype, you'll click other. So say you want to look at control builds that are winning tournaments in Japan. You click on control and you scroll down and you get the Japanese deck list. If you translate this, it'll tell you the name of the player. It also tells you whether this person won or got top 8, top 16. It's extremely useful. It's the one so many people use. It's the one I use. It is fantastic. This one is called Poke Card Lab. It's the same thing, basically. If you click around a bit, you'll find some deck list ideas. So if you click on this link here with Roaring Moon and Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX, you'll be taken to a page that talks about this very same deck build. And you'll also get some, here we are, some lists for people who get top placement in tournaments and such. So that's another website. It's nice and a little fun to look at. They also give you an explanation of what's going on in the deck. And this last one is called Pokekameshi. It's the exact same thing as above. I'm not going to bother clicking through it because I think you get the idea. But those are just some websites for your consideration, Pokekabook being the best of them. Next, we have retro deck sites. This one is called Pokemon Retro Decks Top Cut Events. That's the name of the website. This is the section of it. It's a man named Jimmy Ballard who cataloged 162 high-placing retro decks for your enjoyment. You just click on the year, and you will get the deck list and pictures of all the cards. So thank you, Jimmy. Next, we have the Pokemon TCG Archive. It does the same thing as above, except with many more categories. Nintendo era decks, World Standings, other events, Wizards of the Coast era decks, Japanese events, and World Player Rankings. So if you're into that, go for it. PTCG Legends is the same thing again, except they update part of their website that concerns upcoming and completed events. So if you just click on one of these, you'll see that right now Los Angeles Regionals is going on. The Philippine Championships coming up. All these special events are coming up. You have information there. If you click on completed events, you can see the results and the deck list, the winning deck lists on occasion. So for example, Stockholm Regional, Azul GG1, click on his deck list. You can get that, copy to your clipboard and put it into the live client and play. I also emailed these guys if they're going to have any plans for having anything under their decks by era for control decks, and I got a nice response. They said no, but they want to have a search feature so you can look at any deck you want ever, and so there might be a control selection there, but it's not going to be a separate category. So that sounds pretty cool. Thank you to PTCG Legends. Next, we have Retro Pokemon TCG. This is the website of 3-time World Pokemon TCG champion Jason Klasinski. He goes over Wizards of the Coast Generation 1, Neo, E-Card, Pokemon Company International era from 2003 to the present day. He writes articles about this stuff. It's his thing, so if you're into it, definitely check it out. He also has coaching coming up soon, and you can contact him personally. 6 Prizes started out as a strategy article per day website that simply burned out the original owner, Adam Capriola. It now serves as an archive on how to play old retro-style decks. And all of the articles that were ever published on a given day, so today's May 25, all the articles that were published on May 25 come up each day on the homepage. Last, we have tournaments and rules. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you take nothing else from this presentation, take this website, Limitless TCG. Limitless TCG is easily the captain of them all. What you can do is do something like a tournament search, a deck search, or a player search. So if you want to look at, say, Azul Garcia Griego, you can look him up, and it gives you a database, a record of every tournament he's ever completed in, at least since, a certain period in time. Gives you his list, how many points he got, how much cash he made. It is quite insane. If you also click on the tournament tab, you'll find out, like PTCG Legends, upcoming and completed tournaments. It also has the City Leagues from Japan, so you can get Japanese decks, although at this time the City League has completed. And last but not least, if you click on online, it takes you to play.limitlesstcg. This is if you want to compete in an online tournament via the live app. And Pumpkin Amy on her channel has a video on how to do that. It's actually quite easy. Next, we have PokeGym. This is another forum website known for sending FAQ documents to official Play Pokemon stores where tournaments are held. There's really nothing more to it than that, other than to say it's related to the next website, Pokemon Rulings Compendium. The Pokemon Trading Card Game Rulings Compendium is a compilation of official rulings from the Pokemon Company International for the Pokemon Trading Card Game. This resource is compiled and published by Team Compendium Inc. So if you have any questions on how certain attacks work, how abilities interact, what comes first, what do I do with my gameplay, whenever certain cards need to do what they have to do, this is the website you come to. It's fantastic. Next, we have PokeStats. PokeStats was founded in late 2016 by an American player, Tate Whitesell, who realized the game lacked a serious resource for stats-based content. This website will post standings and records of official tournaments. There was some controversy with this because it was also posting which decks players were playing, and players at tournaments were looking it up to get a leg up on the competition. I think they stopped doing that here. As you can see, they have League Cup results, major event schedule, coaching, Discord. Most of these websites under more competitive TCG content are either covered here already or simply out of date, so you can check that out too for your information. And last but certainly not least, we have Trainer Hill. This is run by a guy named Brad. From his About section, Trainer Hill is your dedicated platform for in-depth competitive analysis of the Pokemon trading card game. Our aim is to provide players with the tools and insights they need to make informed, strategic decisions in their gameplay and deck building. They get their information from Limitless TCG, so if you want to know something about, say, Gardevoir, you just click on it and you get the trends, the matchups, all that jazz. It's absolutely fantastic. But what percentage of decks are playing certain cards. What I also want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is from the homepage, the Deck Difference Analyzer. If you have two separate decks and you want to see how similar they are, you just copy and paste them here. You can name them to keep track of them, and a Venn diagram will appear here down below, and you can see what cards are in common and what cards are different in two different deck lists. So that's the quick tour of the TCG internet, everybody. Thank you for watching. Let me know what's going on with what you want to see in the future here at Control Players Unite. Really appreciate you taking the time. Please take care of yourselves, and may God hold you in the palm of his hand.